Liberty and justice for all. Can I have a roll call, supervisors, please?
You know the three are in DC.
Supervisor Alverman? Supervisor Alverman, can you sign in, please? Thank you. So Supervisor Grady, Rodriguez, O'Day, Nudo, and Mauer are excused. Moving on to citizens' comments. Any citizens wishing to speak who have 5 minutes, please state your name and address for the record. Citizens' comments? Any citizens' comments? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. Moving on, I have announcements of the chairman. The executive committee did meet tonight, and we did go through the application process with the two applicants for the 4th District. The recommendation will be made to the county board for the supervisor appointee of the District 4 at our next county board meeting for approval by the county board, at which time the second meeting of September, that supervisor will be sworn in. Committees will move around again. Seats will move around again. Anybody can contact me after the meeting if they have any questions or concerns in regards to that. That's all I have. I'll move on to supervisor reports. Supervisor Alverman, you have the floor.
Just one item. The dog parks, as you all know, are self-supporting, and can't spend any money at the dog park that they don't bring in. Someone was very generous at Paddock Lake, the dog park. They wanted to remain anonymous, and noticed there was no water there, down where people were sitting and where the dogs were, and wanted to donate water going to that park. Well, it had to be directionally bored from a well we have on the other side of the park, and a beautiful water bubbler where there's water on the bottom for people to water their dogs. $13,000 cost, and it was installed this week. It was a beautiful thing for someone to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Supervisor Boyd Frederick, you have the floor.
Thank you. Two items. Number one, for judiciary and law, we got the report on Country Thunder, and tickets and everything were down this year. And it's been going down every year for the last 5 years, so that's been a good thing. And also, I represented the county board for the Gateway Board of Directors, and we chose a new person for representing Racine when it came to the employer. And the person that was chosen became a citizen in 2003 and started going to Gateway to learn English. And in 2019, this person now is representing Racine on the Gateway Board.
Thank you, Supervisor Frederick. Seeing no other supervisor reports, moving on, County Clerk.
County executive appointments, Rick Dodge to serve on the Kenosha County Local Emergency Planning Committee.
Refer to Judiciary and Law Committee.
14, Yamahalski to serve on the Racine Kenosha Community Action Agency Board.
Refer to Human Services Committee.
New business, ordinance one reading, 3 from the Planning Development Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding Bruce H. Ford III and Barbara K. Ford request a rezoning from A1 Agricultural Preservation District and C1 Lowland Resource Conservancy District to A1 Agricultural Preservation District, C1 Lowland Resource Conservancy District, and R1 Rural Residential District, Town of Paris. Decker, yes. Skalitsky excused. Poole, yes. Nordigan, yes. Rodriguez, yes.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move ordinance 3.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Poole. Supervisor Decker.
Thank you. This property is located on the west side of County Highway D, 152nd Avenue, approximately 800 feet north of the intersection of County Highway K, 60th Street. The rezoning would allow for the existing residence and accessory building and structures to be subdivided into 5 acres. The Town of Paris recommended approval of the request.
Thank you. Seeing no discussion on this item, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance passes.
Ordinance 4 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding Bruce H. Ford III and Barbara K. Ford, request an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 65 of the comprehensive plan, from farmland protection and secondary environmental corridor to farmland protection, secondary environmental corridor, and rural density residential, Town of Paris. Decker, yes. Skalitsky, excused. Poole, yes. Nordigan, yes. Rodriguez, yes.
Thank you. Supervisor Decker?
Move ordinance 4.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Decker, second by Supervisor Nordigan. Supervisor Decker.
Thank you. This property is the same as ordinance 3. The comprehensive plan amendment would allow an amendment to the Kenosha County Comprehensive Plan for a change from farmland protection and secondary environmental corridor to farmland protection, secondary environmental corridor, and rural density residential. The Town of Paris recommended approval of the request.
Thank you. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance passes.
Resolution 25 from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution to appoint the Honorable Mary Kubicki, Kenosha County Clerk, to the Kenosha County Housing Authority Board. Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. Gens, yes. Kubicki, yes. O'Day, yes. Wamble, yes.
Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
I would move the appointment.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Rose, a second by Supervisor Ron Frederick. Supervisor Rose.
The nominee is our county clerk, who the committee believes will serve well on the Housing Authority Board.
Thank you. Seeing no discussion on this, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Resolution 26 from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution information technology budget additional revenue FY 2019. Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. Gens, yes. Kubicki, yes. O'Day, yes. Wamble, yes.
Thank you. Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
I would move the resolution.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Rose, and a second by Supervisor Gens. Supervisor Rose.
The committee reviewed this with the Information Services Director. This is $10,000 from the City of Kenosha to maintain the open-air wireless network in the downtown area.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Rose. This is a two-thirds vote because it is a budget modification. Any discussion in regards to this? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution vote yes. All those opposed say no. Let her cue it up here. There we go. Supervisor Boyd Frederick. Passes unanimously. Moving on.
Resolution 27 from the Judiciary and Law Enforcement and Finance Administration Committees, a resolution 2019 Wisconsin Department of Justice JAG Crisis Intervention Team CIT Training Grant. Judiciary and Law, Boyd Frederick, yes. Wamble, yes. Celebrity, yes. Uhas, yes. Rodriguez, yes. Finance, Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. Gens, yes. Kubicki, yes. O'Day, yes. Wamble, yes.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. You have the floor.
Uh,
Do you want Supervisor Boyd Frederick to move it?
Yes.
Okay. That's fine. Not a problem.
Move
Supervisor
resolution
Frederick.
27.
I have a motion by Supervisor Boyd Frederick and a second by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Frederick.
It's a $10,000 grant from the Wisconsin Department of Justice Crisis Intervention Team, and basically for everyone who completes that course, this is the cost for a speaker.
Okay. This again is a budget modification. It's going to require two-thirds vote. I see no discussion on this, so there'll be a roll call. Yes, if you're in favor of the resolution. No, if you're not. Resolution passes unanimously.
Resolution 28 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, a resolution regarding Bruce H. Ford III and Barbara K. Ford, requests an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 65 of the comprehensive plan, from farmland protection and secondary environmental corridor to farmland protection, secondary environmental corridor, and rural density residential Town of Paris. Decker, yes. Skalitsky, excused. Poole, yes. Nordigan, yes. Rodriguez, yes.
Thank you. Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move resolution 28.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Decker, second by Supervisor Poole. Supervisor Decker.
Thank you. This property is the same as ordinances 3 and 4. The state requires a resolution from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee and an ordinance from the full county board to amend the comprehensive plan. This resolution would allow an amendment to the Kenosha County Comprehensive Plan for a change from farmland protection and secondary environmental corridor to farmland protection, secondary environmental corridor, and rural density residential. The town of Paris recommended approval of the request.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no discussion on this resolution, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Resolution 29 from the Public Works and Facilities and Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution authorizing Director of Parks to accept a grant award from the Fund for Lake Michigan in the amount of $150,000 to support the Petrifying Springs Park Pike River Restoration Phase 2 project. Public Works, Elverman, yes. Franco, yes. Poole, yes. Geschke, yes. Nordigan, yes. Galitsky, yes. Uhas, yes. Finance Administration, Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. Gens, yes. Kubicki, yes. O'Day, yes. Wamble, yes.
Thank you. Supervisor Alverman, you have the
I
floor.
move Resolution 29.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Alverman, a second by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Alverman.
Yes, we have received grants from the Fund for Lake Michigan before. As you all know, we've been working on the Pike River project. This is for Pike River Phase 2. There's no strings attached to this grant. In other words, we don't have to begin work on the project. We can wait until we amass enough funds to begin this project, which is the case. So this is a beautiful grant that we've applied for, received, and we can put it in the bank and add to it. So I'd ask everyone to vote yes.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Seeing no discussion on this resolution, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a two-thirds vote because it's a budget modification. So we'll take a roll call. I apologize. Moving too fast. Same result. Resolution passes unanimously. Thank you.
Resolution 30 from the Public Works and Facilities and Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution regarding purchase floodplain property in the Fox River watershed using funds received from FEMA's Hazard Mitigation Program managed by the Wisconsin Division of Emergency Management and Sewer PAC. Public Works, Elverman, yes. Franco, yes. Galitsky, yes. Uhas, yes. Nordigan, yes. Poole, yes. Geschke, yes. Finance, Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. Gens, yes. Kubicki, yes. O'Day, yes. Wamble, yes.
Supervisor Alverman, you have the floor.
I move Resolution 30.
A motion by Supervisor Alverman, a second by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Alverman.
Yes, this mitigation fund, we have been working with, I believe, since 1995. Those of you that have been here for a little while, the money is used to purchase floodplain properties, remove them, fill in the hole, plant grass seed, and allow a spot for the water to be where it wants to be instead of flooding other neighborhoods. That's the premise behind it, and it worked. So I'm not sure of the number. It's in the hundreds of homes that we've moved, gotten people into a new situation. So at this point, we're working on a grant from last year. This grant became available, and we can receive another $701,000. Normally, there's a string attached of funds that we would have to put in. Salem Lakes has done that because they're involved, and since they are within Kenosha County, it counts towards our matching fund, $125,000. So Kenosha County is going to receive this money, again, with no strings attached, and it should be enough to purchase and move another 8 residences. So this is a good amount for this year, especially since we're working with about the same amount from last year. There's been years when Katrina and all the different floodings happened all over the country where we just weren't in line. And this is great. Our people have done a great job applying for these grants. I'd ask for your approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. There's some discussion in regards to this. Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Thank you. I just have one question, and I'm sorry, the Wi-Fi is really slow, so I'm doing this from memory because it's not loading. I believe the first property listed says that the owner is Kenosha County. Are we purchasing it from ourselves?
1 second. There you go.
Jim, do you know?
And I'm just doing this from memory, so I'm sorry.
We'll have Jim Kupfer come up. Jim, can you shed some light on this?
I
Hold on
I
1 second.
doubt that we are, but maybe.
From ourselves. I'm not sure what Supervisor Decker's looking at, but
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm too far down now. Right here. So on page 45.
oh, is that the
property-
map?
Yes.
We're not
Property-
purchasing anything from ourselves.
Okay, because it says F1, and it gives the parcel number, and it says owner name Kenosha County.
Can you explain that, please?
No, I can't.
Okay.
We will not purchase anything from ourselves. In total, I know there's like 31 properties. We'll have enough to buy 14 or 15 of them by the time we're done.
Okay,
We've already bought 5.
okay.
So-
And another question is, I see that there's F1s, which means funded, and N1s, which is not funded. How did we come about deciding which ones we were purchasing now versus waiting till different funds come?
I think it was a 2018 budget had $800,000. Those were the ones that were quote-unquote F1, or the funded ones. And now the next 800,000, which is this resolution, will be the other ones. So what they do, the process that they go through is people will apply and tell us that they want to, or tell FEMA and Sewer Pack that they want to sell their property, and then we'll send somebody in to do an evaluation and a cost estimate, and then they sign the paperwork. So those are the first bunch was done 2 years ago, and the other bunch is being done now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Supervisor Gens, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through the chair to Supervisor Alverman. You said that our matching portion was already taken care of. Is that 100%, or do we still have some to match?
It's 100%.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no other discussion on this item, this is a 2/3 vote because it is a budget modification. So there'll be a roll call. Yes if you're in favor, no if you're not. Resolution passes unanimously. Unanimously.
Resolution 31, from the Public Works and Facilities, a resolution approving the appointment of Lieutenant Ken Urquhart to serve on the Kenosha County Traffic Safety Commission. Alverman, yes. Franco, yes. Geschke, yes. Poole, yes. Nordigan, yes. Galitsky, yes. Uhas, yes.
Supervisor Alverman, you have the floor.
Thank you. I move resolution
31.
31.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Alverman, second by Supervisor Franco. Supervisor Alverman.
This is the Traffic Safety Commission. I know that we seem to make a lot of appointments to this. It's a group of people that assist us. They serve with no pay. We have a variety of people on this committee, and it is not a requirement, but we like to have, again, police officers from around the community on this committee. So Lieutenant Urquhart is replacing, trying to see who he's replacing, Rory Zerline. Lieutenant Urquhart has been with the Sheriff's Department for 26 years, highly qualified, and has agreed to serve on this committee. Again, it assists us in safety procedures. We have people from the Highway Department. We have the medical examiner on the committee. He'll serve without pay, and he'll make all his meetings. So anybody that's willing to volunteer for that, I would ask you all to approve.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Seeing no discussion on this resolution, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Resolution 32 from the Finance Administration Committee, a resolution authorizing and providing for the sale and issuance of $16,620,000 general obligation promissory notes and all related details. Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. Kubicki, yes. O'Day excused. Gens, yes. Wambolt excused.
Thank you. Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
On behalf of the Finance Committee, I would move the approval of the sale and issuance of the notes for $16,620,000.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Rose, a second by Supervisor Ron Frederick. Supervisor Rose.
All right, you are this evening approving the sale and issuance of these 10-year notes. These, together with the bonds, are AA+ rated. They are rated both by Fitch and Standard & Poor's. And the rating system is AAA and then AA+. So we are one rank below AAA. I think it is well to note what both Fitch and Standard & Poor's have to say about county finances, and their report summaries are attached to the report that is before you. And I would just like to quote a bit from each, and it's worth noting. In Fitch, they say the county's operating performance has been exceptionally strong during the present expansion. They also say the rating is sensitive to growth in population, wealth, and income levels beyond Fitch's current expectations. Now, Standard & Poor has something very similar to say when they call it strong management. We view the county's management as very strong, with good financial policies and practices under our financial management assessment methodology, indicating financial practices exist in most areas, but the governance officials might not formalize or monitor all of them on a regular basis. These are, I think, important to review. Standard & Poor's also says that we have budgetary flexibility, very strong, with our available fund balance in 2018 of 29% of operating expenditures. So they have a lot of good things to say about management and finances here in Kenosha County, and they see what finances amongst municipal governments throughout the country. So I think it is important compliment to the presentation and administration of finances by this administration as well as this county board. The interest rate on these particular notes is historically low at 1.46%. This funds for 10 years IT projects, such things as sheriff's vehicles and other normal highway projects and other purchases which are of more short-term duration. We have two representatives here from Ehlers this evening. If Dawn would like to say something on behalf of Ehlers, or you have some other technical questions, she would be free to respond.
Anybody on the board have any questions for Dawn or Joe at Ehlers? Supervisor Sklitzky, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do. In general, I see that of both these packages, one is general obligation highway improvement bonds and one is general obligation promissory notes. But yet under the promissory notes, there are also highway improvement projects. Could you help at least me or maybe the rest of the board understand the division of why you broke the various projects into the buckets you did and didn't necessarily put all the highway improvement work under the highway improvement bonds, and maybe the rationale, so I can understand it now and into the future?
Certainly. Probably the main distinction is the major road projects are included in the bonds, and they're being financed over a longer period of time. So generally those would be major reconstruction work, and we typically would recommend financing things over the life expectancy of the project. So those would be long-term projects. Not to say that other projects are not long-term, but they've chosen to segregate the other improvements within the note issue. So it's and I'm going to ask staff to help me recall which of the projects are included in the bonds. Is it which highways?
Patty, why don't you step up to the mic too, please? Thank you.
Included in the bonds are Highway S, Highway S, Highway KR, Highway K, and some work on Highway F that is part of a larger project that will come along in the next couple of years.
I apologize. It is included in the document. If you turn to the third page of each of these schedules, it breaks out those projects identified in the bonds. And so there are other road improvement projects that are included in the initial authorization, and there may be a few of those within these projects, but when it was initially authorized, it included other highway projects as well. And so those are being financed over a 10-year time period.
10 years versus 15?
The notes versus 20 on the bonds.
10 and 20?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Sklitsky. Any other supervisors, since the finance director and Don from Ayers are up at the podium, have any other questions for them? Seeing no other discussion on this, all those in favor of the there's been a roll call requested. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes. If you're not, vote no. Resolution passes 16-1.
Resolution 33 from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution authorizing and providing for the sale and issuance of $8,880,000 general obligation bonds and all related details. Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. Kubicki, yes. O'Day excused. Gens, yes. Wambolt excused.
Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
On behalf of the Finance Committee, I would move the sale and issuance of 8.8 million plus general obligation bonds.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Rose and a second by Supervisor Gens. Supervisor Rose.
Thank you. These are 20-year bonds. This interest rate is 2.2%, which again is low. These also are AA plus rated. This is for a longer term. It's mostly highway projects, which is set forth in the report to you this evening. So the committee has approved it and urges your approval tonight.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Seeing none, there's been a roll call requested. Vote yes in your favor of the resolution, no if you're not. Resolution passes 16-1.
Approval of the August 6, 2019 minutes by Supervisor Decker.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Motion to approve the minutes?
A motion by Supervisor Decker, second by Supervisor Sklitsky. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion by Supervisor Uhas, a second by Supervisor Nordigan. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. We're adjourned.